Now in this video, we're going to have a look through how you can actually buy some Bitcoin. I'm going to go through each step very carefully. I'll show you how to get set up on an exchange. We'll look at one in particular, which is called Bitstamp. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually fund your account, buy a Bitcoin, and I'm also going to look at some of the basic security procedures that you can take so that you can do this quite safely and that you can actively get involved in the cryptocurrency space with a bit of peace of mind. We've recorded this video because we want to show you step by step the easiest way to get your hands on some Bitcoin, but it's important to explain that we don't get any affiliate revenue or kickbacks for any of the exchanges that we mention in this video. We've recommended these on the basis of our own experience of using these exchanges and also how our members have got on with them. In fact, we've pieced together a guide that addresses the first 25 questions that most of the members in our academy have asked us over the last year. And this should help you with getting started with crypto. I'll tell you a little bit more about how to get that guide at the end of this video. There are a few things I'd like to say at the outset. It is reasonably easy to get your hands on some Bitcoin, as we'll see in a moment. The frustrating thing about the cryptocurrency space is that it's still very new. Some of the most popular exchanges are receiving hundreds of thousands of new accounts each month. So there is huge new demand for buying these coins, and the exchanges can be flooded with new accounts, and that can cause all sorts of problems. It can mean that it can take you a few days to get your account recognized by the exchange. It can mean that you can put through a trade and it can take a couple of days to go through. So there's a lot of kind of little frustrations that you're going to experience the first time you go through this process, but I'd urge you to persevere, because once you've bought your first Bitcoin and you have your account set up, it becomes much easier from there to buy a few other coins, to build your portfolio. And in my experience and the experience of everyone I've spoken to, you'll find that you'll be quite active in this space after a few weeks. The second thing I would say is that you don't need a very big bank to start with. In fact, it's sensible to probably invest the amount that you're willing to lose at the outset. It makes sense to just put in a little bit of money so you can see how it works, how volatile Bitcoin can be. Even though this is the most stable of all of the currencies, it is still quite volatile when you compare it to traditional investing. So this space moves very fast. Put in a bit of money, get used to the volatility, and then you can look to top up when you feel a bit more comfortable, I suppose. And the third thing I would say is that this is a new space, and you have to be conscious of the fact that there are security procedures that you need to take responsibility for that you wouldn't with traditional investing. And we'll do our best in this course to go through the ones that we think are most important for somebody who's starting out. So there are a number of ways you can buy coins. There are Bitcoin ATMs, which are dotted around the city. It should be very easy for you to find them. But the way that we'd recommend is that you buy it through an online exchange, and we're going to focus on one. Bitstamp is one of the most liquid exchanges. It's very heavily traded. And that's good for us because it means that the fees are lower because there's more people using it. You'll also see that it's very easy to use. And the other main benefit from Bitstamp, apart from how user-friendly it is that you can attach your bank account or your credit card or debit card to the exchange. And that means that should you want to actually cash out of crypto to sell some Bitcoin and put your money back into fiat or back into your bank account, it's quite easy to do so. Bitstamp is basically your gateway, your way in and your way out of the crypto market. So let's just go through the process of setting up. I'm going to use a temporary mail here just for the purposes of registering this account. I actually have a Bitstamp account already, and I'll jump into that in a moment when I'm going through the process of funding the account and cashing out. But for the moment, you just put in your name, your email address, the country, you agree to their terms, and that's the first part done. You're registered there. So in a minute, we should see an email come through to this address. And here we have it. They'll issue us with a client ID and a password. And it's simply a case of going back to log in with these details. So there's my password. Now, that is registration done. The next part of the process is verifying who you are, your identity. And just a quick note here of some of the things that we can see on the front screen when we register, because we'll be returning to these over the course of the video. We can see that there's details about our account here. I'm going to jump into there in a moment. We can buy and sell, we can deposit, and we can withdraw. So one thing I would suggest that you do is that once you've signed in with the details they offer you, to change your password. I traditionally pick a password with capital letters and mixed with numbers, and then a few symbols as well. So once you've changed your password, we can go about the business of actually verifying your account. So we go down to verify account down here on the left hand side, and this starts the process of verifying your account. So I'll click on personal account verification here. There's a few parts to this. I won't dwell on putting in your details for your name, address, your postal code, and etc. The second part is that you declare that you are not a US citizen, so that's for tax purposes. I won't focus on that either. One tricky part of this verification process is registering your ID document. They give very strict instructions on what you need to do here. You need to have a high quality image. It needs to be in color with serious resolution, with a high resolution. It needs to be visible in its entirety, and it needs to be valid. Now, I suggest either taking a picture of your passport with your camera or with your phone, and taking it in good light, and being very careful about this part of the process, because it's one of the stumbling blocks in terms of getting your account verified. What you might find is that you're asked to do it again if the picture isn't of a high enough resolution. And this is just one of the slightly small hurdles that you have to jump over to get into the process of actually buying a Bitcoin. So be very careful about this part. Now I'm going to jump into an account that's already set up so that we can see what happens after the verification procedures go through. What we want to look at next is actually funding your account. One of the easiest ways to do that is to actually just go straight to buy and sell. And if you want to make a credit card purchase, and if you want to say buy $100 worth of BTC, which is Bitcoin, you can go in here, add your address, add your details rather, and submit them. And it takes a minute to authenticate your account. And there we have it, another $100 added to my account, which should register quite quickly up here. So that's one very easy way that you can actually put money into your account and then buy some Bitcoin. Another thing that you might want to do is to actually attach your bank account details to this account. So if you go through the process here, stick in your name, stick in the amount that you want to buy, let's say another €100, and you want to deposit. And here we have the details which you'll need in order to register with your bank account. So I'd go into my online banking, set up Bitstamp as a payee, and add these details. And very importantly, you want to make sure that you have this message here, because this is the message number in the bank deposit is the order that they'll credit your Bitstamp account with. This is quite a smooth process as well. It takes 1 to 3 business days to accept the payment for it to go through. Some other exchanges might take a bit longer. I had the experience of having to wait a couple of weeks for Kraken to register some transactions. I had some difficulties with Coinbase as well. We chose Bitstamp because it's relatively smooth. It seems to be able to deal with the huge volume of accounts that are signing up with it every day. So that's the second way of funding your account. And it makes a lot of sense to attach your bank account to Bitstamp, because what you'll find later on is that You'll want to cash out of the market at some point or realize some profits. And by doing that, you can send money from Bitstamp back out to your account quite easily once you've got the SEPA procedures set up, just as we've seen right there. So we had a look at the first way of buying their credit card purchase. Another option is just to place a simple instant order. Say you want to spend $100. Let's be cautious. You can see the fee here is quite reasonable. We're buying Bitcoin, which is a very liquid market. You might find that if we're buying on some of the other exchanges later on in the markets that are a little more illiquid, that aren't so heavily traded, the fees are higher. This is an account that I set up for demonstration purposes, so I've moved a bit of money in and out of this account, but there is actually nothing in it at the moment. Once my €100 comes through from my bank account, this will fund here, and I will just press buy. Now, let's say that I wanted to sell some of my Bitcoin and cash out of the market. That's just as easy to do as placing an instant order. We go to sell BTC here, put in the amount that we want to sell. Let's say that we want to sell what's available in our account. You can see that there's a reasonable fee here, and we press sell BTC. That opens an order to sell now. We can see how does an instant order work. When you place an instant order, we add an order at the current bid or ask price depending on the type of order. If there's not enough BTC available at that price, our trading engine will then reposition your order every second. So what we should see is that our order goes through reasonably quickly. We can see the order books here, that we go into that later on a bit more in the video on Bittrex. And once we've sold our Bitcoin and the cash registers in our Bitstamp account, we can look to actually transfer the money back out of Bitstamp and into our bank account. So we go up to withdrawal, go to EU Bank. We have $191 available to withdraw. And we put in our bank details and we press withdraw. And we should get an email asking us to confirm the details of the bank transfer. So you go into your email address, click on that link. And what you should find is that the cash is in your bank account within a matter of days. So that's how you cash out of the cryptocurrency market. So there you have it. That's your gateway into the crypto world. Set up yourself on a Bitstamp account, buy a little bit of Bitcoin, watch how the market goes, and then use that to cash out or to fund other accounts. And if you'd like to find out more about Bitcoin, what coins to buy, or what the whole thing is actually about, then visit our website at cryptotraders.com and download the free Bitcoin guide. And this should help you with getting started with crypto.